This is exciting for me. This is going to be one of the most progressive, forward engineered bikes that I've seen. And I am excited to get this opened up, as this is an Indiegogo. This is something that is being promoted early on, and we were chosen to help talk about it prior to it even hitting the marketplace. So let's check it out.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
So this is a MIHOGO. You can see the website, www.mihogo.com. And I want to make sure that you know that there's going to be links in the description so you can go and check this bike out. This is an aerospace grade magnesium alloy. Now, if you guys don't know, magnesium is lighter than aluminum. Now, back in the 70s, remember everybody had mag wheels on their car? They were magnesium wheels. Well, that actually started back, in the 50s and the 60s. Of course, there's a lot of engineering and refinement that's gone on since then. And then the weight of this thing can support, 550 pounds. Can you believe that? We've never had any bike that have been able to support more than 350 pounds. This one is 550 pounds, and it is a folding bike. Not only that, but you have dual swappable batteries. That makes it to where you can go a little bit longer and then swap out the batteries and continue. Now, the batteries are not both integrated. You're going to have to carry one. It will give you a lot more range than it would if you were just using a single battery. Of course, you could always buy dual batteries with any bike, but this is something that they're promoting, is having dual batteries, giving you what they say is over 80 miles of range. It probably would be a lot more, but this thing has a 1,000 watt motor. So the fact that the motor is much higher rated in watts than what you would normally get with most of these bikes, which most of them are 750 with a peak of 1,000. Some of them peak at 1,100. This is going to be a beast. Big fat tires and really bright colors, which I'm excited to see that. So let's go ahead and open this box up. You can see a lot of styrofoam that was involved here. Well packaged. Of course, that may change as far as the way that they package as this product is being released more and more. Shipping changes, but early analysis as far as shipping, they did a very good job. I want you to take notice that this bike is, the box is the length of a conventional cruiser type bike, and this is a folding bike, and this is long. This is a very long folding bike. What that does is that benefits you in ride quality, because now you have a longer distance to go over a bump. So it's not like both tires are seeing the bump essentially at the same time. The front one seeing it, and then the back one at a later time. That's why bigger limousines are so long. They don't feel the bump all at once. Also, front and rear shocks. This has dual shocks on the front, and it has a rear on the back. But again, just looking at the packaging right now, it looks pretty nice. Bright color. It comes in 3 different colors. This one is green, so we'll have to have Heidi comment on the color once we get it out and see what she thinks overall. There is a box back there. I'm sure it has some appliances, some chargers, and some tools. We'll take a look at that. And yeah, let's get this thing out. I just wanted to show you what the packaging looked like. This thing is pretty darn slick looking, and it's not heavy at all. Of course, I don't have a battery in it right now, and the front tire's not on, but just handling the front tire, I could tell it's quite a bit lighter. These have Shaoyang tires. Again, we've talked about those in the past. You have a Shimano gear set there. Just an entry-level gear set. You don't really need a lot. I mean, you're not using this necessarily like a full-on bicycle, and it will handle whatever you throw at it as far as that's concerned, as far as the pedaling. Very nice design, very cool looking design here with this strange opening that's going on. Of course, you can see the rear shock. Then we have the rear tail light. I've already slid the handlebars in. Very easy to do. This is what it looks like when you get it out of the box and all the packaging off of it. And this is the stuff that comes inside the box. Again, you've got these huge, big disc brakes, 20 by 4 tires with these really cool looking rims. Nice LED light. We'll have to check that out. Looks like that there's a few LEDs inside there. A little wrench. You do have a toolkit. The toolkit has your Allen wrenches. Looks like it has some sort of a tube repair kit. Yeah. Of course, your pedals, 2 batteries, the fenders, the 2 fenders with the hold down. It does mention that there is an app. We'll see if we can take a look at that and see what that's like. And then, of course, your battery charger, which I would assume because it's got 2 batteries, you might be able to get away with just a 2 amp charger, because you're not necessarily trying to do a quick recharge. And that's exactly it. It's a 2 amp charger. So pretty standard as far as the charger and the batteries go, but you do get 2. And I don't know. I'm going to see what those things are like. It's different. It's different that they are starting to ship extra batteries with units, just for the fact that they know that people are going through batteries relatively quickly, longer journeys. And you know, this battery could be thrown in a backpack. It's not that crazy as far as heavy. There is some padding that you can see on the battery there and there. The battery that they included, the extra one, same thing, padding there and there. And not only that, if that padding wears out, trying to kind of moving all this stuff in the way, you can see they give you extra pads, so you can buffer that even more to keep the battery more stable inside the frame as you ride this. We have this all together now, and it looks spectacular. It's probably the brightest bike that we own, or have ever owned, except for some of the step-throughs that we had. This is a very tall bike. The folding mechanism is very smooth. It folds very easily. And what I mean is, normally whenever you get these folding bikes, the hinge is real tight, but this one is like it's perfectly machined. The battery itself, of course, goes inside that tube. Of course, they give you 2 batteries, so you can go extra range with this. The fenders, I believe, are going to be most likely an option, so don't look for them in the box if you're just buying it outright. The headlight on this, pretty darn good, bright. Kind of see it, lights things up pretty easily. The light on the back, again, I've talked about this in the past. I always have auxiliary lighting. There's a really nice dim LED that's here. When you pull the brake lever, you can see the light definitely comes to life. However, as far as brightness, when somebody's approaching you from the back, it's not very, you know, just don't stand out that much. So you have the rear shock. That's going to help, of course, with the rear suspension. It's got a really nice composite. Again, this is all a magnesium alloy. So the rear swing arm on this, that's the lower half of it, definitely a good motion there. And then this piece, which is kind of, you know, there's a built-in handle, which definitely helps for the folding, that moves into the main body. All of it feels very sturdy. There is no movement when you're going down the road. Now, our favorite folding bike that we have currently is the Ingwe. However, this one is much lighter by far. Heidi can pick this up and move it around a lot easier than she can the Ingwe. We knew that as soon as we picked up the rims, or the tire and rim combination. That's really light also. Of course, this is all steel here. Of course, the handlebars are steel, but the other thing that this has over that Ingwe that's our favorite is the spacing on the handlebars is really wide. You usually don't get that with a folding bike. It's just not common. Now, you have, getting into the brakes, these are hydraulic brakes. They say that they're dual piston. I'm assuming that it means they have pistons on both sides. Yes, it looks like they have pistons on both sides, so you don't have just one side grabbing the disc. You actually have, looks like 2 pistons that are working from each direction. That's a little bit different than what I'm used to. And then finally, the best part about this display and the interaction with the display is really good. You can see all the settings here, really easy to navigate. You see there that they were talking about Bluetooth. If I scan that, I can open this up in an app. Once you're in the app, you can, of course, navigate and do a lot of these features that are already on the display. But I'm going to tell you, they kind of shot themselves in the foot because the display is so easy and so nice. It's real easy to navigate. You really don't necessarily need the app. However, the app will allow you to take trips. Again, there's going to be a little slip of paper that's included with the bike, and it will show you that you can actually map out what's happening, which is really cool. Of course, that's through the interface on your phone more than anything else. No USB. I don't believe there's any USB up here. Yeah, no USB for you to plug into to charge your phone while you're riding. Could be a deal breaker for some. I have never used it up myself. I think Heidi did on hers a few times. As far as the bike overall and the feel, I rode it just a short distance and it feels good. It's very comfortable, but it's because, I'm 270 pounds. I'm compressing the suspension pretty good, and it's riding and it's reacting accordingly. Now, with Heidi on it, we're going to see what that looks like. If she can even get up on it, we'll see what she thinks about the ride. But it does have good power. I'll have to say that. It did, take off pretty good whenever I cracked the throttle. And then as far as pedaling, I have it up on assist number 5, and again, it took off really well. So let's see what Heidi thinks. One more thing I got to show you is whenever this thing is folded up, you can see it has a wheel here, and that's usually just a bar. They usually put a bar there, but that's so you can move this thing around easier whenever it is in folded transport mode. I have to say the motor's a little loud.
Yeah, look, I was down there trying to turn around. I'm like,
So what do you think?
it's just a little too tall.
What do you think about the ride?
It's a little noisy, but
That's what I thought too.
I wish the brakes were a little bit longer. These here. That's about all. I mean, I like how it looks. This is really nice.
Yeah, the cable management on this one is
Yes.
top notch.
It is very nice.
They've got it very nice and neat. Everything's tucked away.
The pickup and now, don't get me wrong. I don't like this part of the brakes. The brakes work great. They seem a little short, but the pickup's good. The stopping's good. The pedaling's good.
Well, you can see Heidi. What's your height again? Remind everyone.
5'4".
5'4". So you can see she can do it.
I think you can go down a little bit more.
No, that's it. I got it down as the lowest it can go.
It looked like you could.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
if
what
you
I
got a
thought too.
different seat.
Yeah, but 5'4", she can make it work. It's just not as comfortable as.
Well, because when I got down there to turn around, my foot didn't touch the ground. I wanted to touch the ground when I turn around without doing this. Without,
Right.
Leaning over.
Right.
But yeah, the seat's not bad. But you can clearly tell that.
Yeah, it's much taller.
So this is great though for somebody that's taller.
Yeah, or
Because
even me.
A lot of the bikes are, some of the bikes, I should say, are geared towards shorter people, but
I want you guys to take notice on how long this is. This is one of the longest folding bikes. So the riding ergonomics on this, as far as the rake and what they call the trail center, is really good. It feels comfortable. It feels like you can actually let go of, you know, one side of the handlebar.
because I always, when I first take off, I always forget to see if my coat's zipped up for my cell phone, and it didn't have a little jerk on it, jerkiness.
See, that's a thing.
This I don't like this. I don't like the throttle like that.
Oh, she's not a 3/4. She's
Yeah.
a button person.
Well, because we had so many.
She likes the thumb throttles.
Yeah.
But what she's talking about is actually a problem on a lot of the bikes. Their engineering's just not quite right. So when you go to let go of the handlebar, even to scratch your nose, the thing wants to turn. It wants the wheel wants to turn immediately. So she said that this one was pretty good, which I can
So you
imagine.
get this out in the sun,
Yeah.
and it looks green.
It's
It looks like a lime green.
It's got metal flake in it.
Yeah. So if, like up there in the shade, it looked a little bit of every bit of yellow with a little bit of green in it, but it's definitely like a lime green.
Looks like a traffic light.
You know, he's colorblind, so.
Yeah, I don't know. But you can see how bright it is.
But I do like the brightness. I wonder what the yellow would really look like.
They also have, I believe, an orange.
Is it yellow?
They
And
have a
orange?
yellow and orange. Yeah.
The orange in the photo looked really bright.
There'll be a link in the description for this. Make sure you check that out. I'm not sure if there's going to be a discount on this because this is an Indiegogo campaign. So check out the link. Go see what this thing is going for. See if this is out on the market yet. It should be by the time the video is released. And make your own decision on this, what you think. So I guess the next thing we need to show you guys before we head off is this thing folded up so you can get a good idea of what that looks like. Okay, this does something that a lot of our bikes don't do, and that's stand up by itself. And again, there's a third wheel underneath that will help with you moving it around your garage. Even though it's pretty light, when you fold it up in this manner, it starts to get a little bit clumsy. So Heidi will show you what this looks like rolling around. And you'll be able to move it. It's a lot easier than the other way. So now that this thing's apart, let me go ahead and show you what it takes to put it back together. But first we got to put a new battery in here. Okay, so here's what it looks like, obviously the way we just had it. You just lift this up, spin this around. Again, it's so light, it makes it a lot easier. You can pick up either side. One of the easiest by far to do. I'm surprised. Okay, for RVers that want a folding bike that fits in their pass-through of their fifth wheel, maybe in the back of their vehicle, in the trunk of their car, and you're tired of seeing the same old bikes at the campground. You don't know if it's yours or somebody else's that's parked up at the clubhouse. So that will let you differentiate yourself from the rest. And it's lighter. It's definitely lighter.
Plus, if you're on the little heavier side, it's up to 550 pounds.
550 pounds.
That's awesome.
You guys have to take that number into consideration because the most I've ever seen on any bike is 350. Except for some of the cargo bikes that are long karting. But for a folding bike that's this light, yeah. So the links are going to be down below for this. Click the link, it'll take you right to it. That'll help support the channel. We'll continue to give you more content just like this so you can see more bikes in the future. But until that time,
as always, we hope to see you out there. Bye.
bye.